Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is the review of these two palettes. This is the Brick Fun palette from Dito Cosmetics and this is the Neon palette from Dito Cosmetics. So this is my first brand impression of Dito Cosmetics, and while I'm telling you how I got those palettes, I'm going to put up the pictures of all the looks that I have done combining these two palettes. Now the Neon palette is an all matte palette and the Brick Fun palette is an all shimmer palette, which means that it's perfect for me to combine them. The Brick Fun palette is a pretty new release and I spoke about that palette in my new makeup releases videos, and my best friend was watching me and she said to herself, I'm going to order this for myself and for Leorah, and because she knows me so well that I really cannot do much with an all shimmer palette, she also ordered the Neon palette, who was at that point on sale. So she ordered also this palette, which is an all matte palette, so I could actually come up with a lot of looks. Now, by now you have seen the looks that I've created. I think I'm always trying to do like super bold looks and also one that is a little bit subdued, a little bit going more into the direction of classy glam, and you know, if you want to go neutral. Now I know that with these palettes, I'm going to show you, of course, this is the Neon palette. This is how she looks, and this is the Brick Fun palette. This is the all shimmer palette. And of course, with these two palettes, you cannot go super neutral. You cannot, you just can't. But I did that one look that was sort of leaning a little bit more neutral. But yeah, anyway, so I enjoyed this really much. This was a super good experience, and I'm going to go, of course, more into this in the review part at the end of the video. So as always, I'm going to go ahead and swatch those palettes for you, and then afterwards we're going to go into the review part. Okay, so let's just go in. I have nothing on my arm, just some body lotion as always. I'm going to try to do small swatches so I have enough room for everything on my arm, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, sweeties, these are the swatches. This is how they look. I'm trying to bend my arm enough for you to see everything. I think you can see by the swatches that, first of all, I'm getting better at this. So happy about that. Plus, the pigmentation it's true. This is true. I mean, you just saw me doing this. It's not fake. It's insanity. Sweethearts, yeah. Just saying, and I don't want to take too much away from the review part because I want you to watch that, but just saying that, you know, you see is what you see is what you get. Stumbling over my own words. So anyway, I think we can just safely now go into the part where I'm creating this look. As always, it's going to be sped up a little bit so it doesn't take too long and you can just see what I'm doing. And I hope you will enjoy and stay after that for the review part. So I'll see you in just a second. sweeties, we are back with the finished look. So how are we liking it? Let me zoom you in. As always, I'm probably pretty much up close already, but let's take it to the extreme. Okay, I think also with this look in general, we pretty much, let's go out a little bit more. Okay, with this look, probably we took it to the extreme. I think this is the most extreme look in the sense of boom. Or maybe not. Maybe the cut crease was the green one. But anyway, there are extremes in all kinds of directions, right? So with these two palettes, actually there is so much you can do. And I was super tempted to do another winged cut crease because it just gives me more space to work with. Because I had actually a different placement of colors in my mind that would have been super crazy. But I have to film something else today where that would not be so fitting. So that's why I went for this, and I think it is really cool. Now let's talk about the palettes. Yeah, so we have these two palettes. One is of course completely matte. This is the Neon palette. Let's maybe focus on this first. So this is the Neon palette. It has of course 12 matte shades, which is super great if you have an accompanying palette that gives you all the shimmers. For me, of course, I'm judging all of this according to my makeup preferences, obviously. Okay, so now you have all the neons here, and I can say with confidence that all of those shades worked super well. Now for today's look, I of course went in first with the red, and I had set the upper part of my eye a little bit with powder because I knew I wouldn't have really a transition shade to blend it out with. So that is of course a bit risky, and it was a little bit hard. So I went in with a very light hand and opted for building it up slowly. So I really enjoyed this shade. This one came on a little bit more than I thought. So of course I had to build it up. So I kept putting on more and more, but it got darker and darker, and it was a little bit hard to blend out at that point. But I think that was just me going about it the wrong way. I don't think it is a problem in the shade. So I really enjoyed this one too, and I think that this one you can build up if you have it on a not set surface. This one builds up to such a dark depth that it is actually super amazing and comes close to the dark brown that we actually used from the other palette that I'm going to show you in a second. So yeah, and under the lower lash line I used this one, which also was super good. I used it of course also on a set surface, and maybe you saw that the pigmentation was right there. So we have this beautiful cardboard packaging, we have a mirror here, and yeah, so all of these worked super well. Staining I cannot really say because I haven't really used much of the red shades, only today, so I could only tell you tomorrow, but I have used of course this one and this one before, and they didn't stain. So just so you know, these ones I cannot judge yet, but this one and this one and this one and this one, they did not stain. What else is there to say? The buildability, I think you might have seen that that was really good. If you go in immediately with full force, you will be stunned by the buildability. Blendability also is really good. So you probably saw that in the pictures that I showed you in the beginning with the other looks that I have done, that there was absolutely no problem with the blending and everything. Plus I'm super, like, I know that I love to blend. I love to spend a lot of time doing that, and I love to have my looks come out as perfect as possible. So, but even so, even if you are not like that, I think you shouldn't have any problems, but you will probably have to pull in some lighter shades, some transition shade from a different palette, or a bone color matte, which I also did in my look, because, you know, there's not really a lot of transition shades that you can use. I used this one a lot for a lot of looks, basically combining it with this and with this and with this. But you know, sometimes you just don't want to have like a yellow as a base. So just saying that sometimes maybe you have to pull in something else. But for me personally, that is absolutely no problem, as you all know. So this is the Neon palette. It's an absolute beautiful palette. The matte formula is stunning. It's stunning, just saying. So then we have, of course, the Brick Fun palette, which looks like this. Now here we have 9 shades, all of them are shimmers, and I gotta tell you, sweeties, that this shimmer formula, I did not spray anything. You know, in all of my looks, really, I did not spray any of these shades. I didn't have to. Sometimes I pat it on a little bit with my finger because I like to do that on top of what I've already done, but that is an amazing, amazing formula. Here you don't have that problem, the problem that you sometimes have with other brands, where you sort of have to scratch off the first layer to even get to the good part that actually works well. These performed super, super well from the get-go. The second your brush touches those shades, they perform, and they also pick up very well on the brush. I had absolutely no problem working with this, and I think I can say with the results that I had also in my other looks that this is an absolutely beautiful palette. So yeah, what can I say? You know, I've told you in previous reviews of other brands and other palettes that if I would have just filmed a first impression with the palette, it might not have been so good. Now here, when I started working with those, I went in with a little bit, you know, I'm always hesitant, especially when I'm trying a new brand, because I've never used it before. So that is always a bit of a pressure point for me, because I want it to be good. I spent money on it. I want it to be good. But sometimes I just feel for a couple of looks that it's like, it's a struggle, and I need to sort of force my way into loving the palette. At the end, I always end up loving it, because I never really hate anything, because everything works as makeup, you know? But it very rarely happens that from the first look, if I would have filmed a first impression, let's put it this way, it would have been a glowing first impression and I would love it on first sight. This is how I felt this time with this new brand that I have just discovered for myself. So I think that says it all. I really, really, really enjoyed this, and I would highly recommend for you to try this out. So that is it for today. I hope you did enjoy, and I hope you found this helpful. Maybe you have been eyeing Dito Cosmetics and you want to try them. So Dito Cosmetics absolutely has my stamp of approval, because for me it absolutely worked super well. Now again, you can pull in some other shades to make it work for you, but maybe if you are of a darker skin tone, then maybe this might be exactly what you need, you know, because these shades are super, super vibrant, super pigmented, and just saying, I think you're gonna enjoy this. Yeah, so that is it for today. If you liked the video, then please give it a like, and on your way out, please don't forget to subscribe. You will of course find everything that I used in the description box down below, and leave me your comments. What did you think of all the looks and everything? Have you tried Dito Cosmetics? Which palette would you recommend, or which product of them would you recommend? I would really, really like to know. And besides that, I'm going to see you here for my next video real soon, and up until then, go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.